For nearly 30 years, Mission Impossible has sold us a thrilling fantasy. It's a world of flawless masks, heart-stopping stunts, and heroes who always beat the clock. We see Ethan Hunt defy gravity, outsmart super geniuses, and save the world with seconds to spare. But what if the most impossible mission isn't the one on screen? What if it's believing the lie they're selling us? Today, we're pulling back the curtain to reveal the dark truth behind Mission Impossible movies, and how its fiction is scarier than you think because of how close it is to reality. Let's start with what the movies get right, and why it's so unsettling. The core concept of the IMF, the Impossible Mission Force, is that its agents are deniable assets. If they're caught or killed, the Secretary will disavow any knowledge of their actions. This isn't just Hollywood drama. This is the reality of espionage. Take the case of Aldrich Ames, a 31-year CIA veteran who turned out to be a double agent for the Soviet Union and later Russia. He compromised more than 100 US intelligence operations and led to the execution of at least 10 American sources. When spies go rogue or get caught, the official line is often silence and denial. The institution protects itself, and the agent is left in the cold. It's a brutal, necessary part of the game. Another chillingly accurate element is the bureaucratic warfare. In the movies, the IMF is constantly at odds with other agencies like the CIA, creating friction and life-or-death delays. This is a stark reflection of reality. The 9/11's Commission report famously highlighted the catastrophic failure of communication and cooperation between the CIA and the FBI. These weren't rival spies trying to one-up each other for glory. These were systemic failures in a vast, tangled bureaucracy that had deadly consequences. The good guys aren't one big happy family. They're competing departments, hoarding information, and fighting for budget and influence, sometimes at the expense of national security. And what about the MacGuffin, that all-important list, file, or weapon that everyone is chasing? In Mission Impossible, it's the knock list. In the real world, it was the Snowden files. Do not tell me you don't know it. Edward Snowden, a single NSA contractor, walked out with a treasure trove of classified documents that exposed the shocking scale of global mass surveillance. Similarly, WikiLeaks published hundreds of thousands of sensitive diplomatic cables, shaking international relations to their core. I mentioned the Snowden files, and if you're not familiar with him, just drop a comment. I'd love to make a video about his fascinating story. Trust me, you'll find it super interesting. The movies show us that one piece of information can change the world, and history has proven that to be terrifyingly true. A single flash drive, in the right or wrong hands, can be more powerful than an army. This brings us to the ultimate technological threat: the all-seeing eye. In Dead Reckoning, the villain is the entity, an omniscient AI that can manipulate truth and reality on a global scale. Pure science fiction, right? Well, not exactly. We live in the shadow of real-world programs like PRISM, which gave the NSA direct access to the servers of major tech companies. And consider the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance: the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand sharing vast amounts of surveillance data with each other. The entity might be a fictional exaggeration, but the infrastructure for a global surveillance state isn't. The technology to monitor, predict, and manipulate human behavior on a massive scale already exists. The movies just gave it a cool name and a glowing red interface. Now, let's talk about where the fantasy takes over the dangerous illusions the movies sell us. The biggest one is the myth of the lone wolf hero. Ethan Hunt is a Superman. He's a master strategist, a world-class athlete, and a tech genius all rolled into one. He single-handedly averts global catastrophes. Real-life intelligence officers are not Ethan Hunt. They are specialized cogs in a massive, slow-moving bureaucratic machine. The case officer who recruits assets isn't the same person who analyzes the data, who isn't the same person who plans the operation. Espionage is a team sport played by committees. It's less about jumping off skyscrapers and more about writing reports, attending briefings, and navigating endless red tape. The hero fantasy is appealing, but the reality is far more mundane and collaborative. Then there's the magic of the technology: exploding gum, magnetic climbing gloves, and of course, the hyper-realistic masks. While intelligence agencies certainly develop advanced gadgets, real-world tech is less about flashy gizmos and more about the quiet, invisible power of data. The most potent weapon in a modern spy's arsenal isn't a laser watch. It's an algorithm. It's the ability to sift through petabytes of data, social media posts, financial records, satellite imagery to find a single vulnerability or predict a future threat. The real war is being fought in server farms and data centers, not in high-speed car chases. Perhaps the most dangerous illusion of all is the idea of moral clarity. In Mission Impossible, Ethan Hunt and his team are unequivocally the good guys. They might bend the rules, but their cause is just, and their intentions are genuinely good. The real history of intelligence is a landscape painted in shades of gray. To protect national interests, the good guys have done some truly terrible things. We only need to look at declassified CIA operations like MKUltra, a program that conducted non-consensual human experiments with drugs and psychological torture to explore mind control. Or consider the numerous democratically elected governments that were overthrown in coups backed by Western intelligence agencies during the Cold War era. In the real world of espionage, morality is often a luxury that can't be afforded. The line between protecting a nation and betraying its values is terrifyingly thin. So, where do the villains fit into this? The franchise's most compelling antagonist is the Syndicate, a rogue network of former spies from various nations. This isn't just a clever cinematic foil, it has a direct parallel to one of the most destabilizing forces in modern geopolitics: private military companies. Think of organizations like the Wagner Group. They are shadowy, deniable forces that carry out a state's dirty work, from fighting in foreign wars to staging coups, all while allowing the government to maintain plausible deniability. They are, in essence, a real-life syndicate, a collection of highly trained, stateless operatives for hire, accountable to no one but their paymaster. The movies also introduce us to the Apostles, a splinter cell of extremists from the Syndicate. This concept mirrors the reality of modern threats. We're no longer just fighting nation-states with clear armies and borders. The real-world Apostles are decentralized extremist cells, cyber mercenaries who sell their hacking skills to the highest bidder, and sophisticated disinformation networks that operate in the shadows to sow chaos and division. These groups are fluid, ideologically motivated, and incredibly difficult to track and dismantle, just like the phantom villains Ethan Hunt pursues. So, after all this, what's the final verdict? Mission Impossible nails just the right amount of scary thrills, but its core fantasy is what truly keeps us coming back. And here's the dark truth: we need that fantasy. We crave Ethan Hunt, because the reality of espionage is too bleak to stomach. Real-world intelligence is a slow, morally ambiguous, often soul-crushing grind. It's a world of paperwork, ethical compromises, and uncertain outcomes. The movies give us a cathartic escape, a world where one good person with enough willpower and a loyal team can cut through all the bureaucracy and save the day. They give us a hero who can fix a broken system from the outside. But in reality, the red tape isn't just an obstacle. The tape is the system. More often than not, the system wins. The fantasy of Mission Impossible isn't about the stunts or the gadgets. It is about the hope that an individual can still make a difference in a world dominated by impenetrable, faceless institutions. Maybe that's the most impossible mission of all. Thanks for watching. If you found this look behind the curtain interesting, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives. Let me know in the comments what you think is Mission Impossible, a fun escape or a dangerous lie.